Welcome to another episode of
Nerd Out!
I'm Randy, this is Brian, and we come to you from Nerd Headquarters, and I'll be honest, man, we don't have anything, like, officially, like, not worthy of review, but, like,
we're gonna review It Never Was.
Yeah, well, let's do that. Yeah, you came up with a great idea. We're gonna have another conversation, and this time what you propose and is movies that were made that should have had sequels.
Yep.
And I do want to clarify something. Like, I think there's a difference between a movie that didn't have a sequel and should have had a sequel. Like, for example, a successful movie that I'm glad didn't have a sequel was like Goonies. I love the movie Goonies.
Yeah, exactly. But you wouldn't want to see
I don't need another one.
That.
Same thing with like E.T. Like, you didn't need a sequel for E.T. It was a standalone
and that
movie.
was supposed to come, right? Like that was.
I don't remember Goonies. They had talked about it.
I remember reading about an E.T. sequel.
Really?
Something about it. I mean,
no, I believe it.
It's
just like, you know what? Sometimes a successful movie can stand alone and doesn't need a sequel. But there are movies that, man, I wish there was a sequel.
Go.
And I'm just gonna go throw it out there. One is you might disagree, Spaceballs. I think.
Hell yeah.
I think it's lent itself to a sequel. Like obviously it
would have been a great follow up.
Yeah.
I mean, Spaceball Strike Back.
Right. Space.
Like,
it would have
been awesome.
It was a parody of a trilogy, so it only made sense for a sequel. I know that there's probably like some written like reasons of why it was never made, but I would totally have bought into it. I love
Mel Brooks against sequels?
That could have been something to do with it. Like that could have been, but I mean I'm sure you could look it up. But I think Spaceballs lent itself to a sequel. Like, it was perfectly open to that, especially because half of the concept was insulting, or not insulting, but playing
on a movie that already existed.
Yeah. Plus, like, it was like all about merchandising. Yeah, but they didn't do any merchandising. But like,
which
they were
making
fun.
Done that
yeah,
too.
but they had apparently they had a no merchandising clause
with Lucasfilm. Yeah. I think they were sort of like under. They could only do so much.
Right.
What about Flash Gordon?
I'm going to. Oh, that's a tough one, because I'm thinking about it, and like, I love it so much. As a standalone, like one and done. But I'll be honest with you, I think you're kind of right. Like, I think if they would have thrown in another Flash Gordon story, I would have been on board.
I think they could have made up for I didn't think there were any shortcomings in
the
first one.
Right.
I love it. But I think through a production, through a director's eyes, they could have done a lot more than they did in the first one, and they could have blown that up wide and made it.
Yeah. I mean, there's definitely more stories to tell.
Yeah. It was like, they.
Yeah, it wasn't like a self-contained fit. Like, it opened the doors for more.
Yep.
And I would have been okay with that. I didn't put that on my list. A big one for me is you might not agree, but Galaxy Quest. I love.
Yeah, hell yeah. That wasn't on my list, but hell yeah, that's a perfect follow-up.
Because by the time that movie ended, and
I'll bet you we could still get one.
Yeah, I think so too.
Why not?
I think so
too. Allen isn't doing that much.
That's one of those movies that, like, if you don't like Galaxy Quest or respect Galaxy Quest, I have a hard time respecting someone's opinion and like, I don't know why.
What do people say bad about it?
I don't think they do, but if they don't get it.
Yeah, if people don't get that, they're not into like the same shit we are.
That's right. That's
like,
what
you can't appreciate Star Trek or any of that stuff and not like it, you know?
Yeah. No, it was a parody that was so well done that it went beyond being a parody. Like, it was I cared about those characters.
Yeah, but also because it was good because it didn't just it parodied the culture.
Right.
Not just the fiction. It was like it was great.
Yeah,
was awesome.
At the same time creating new universe, a new world, and it was great. I love that movie. What else did you have that was big on you?
Well, a big one for me was The Last Starfighter.
Okay. Well, I don't remember how it ended.
It ended.
I know it's sacrilegious.
Wow, really?
Yeah, Last Starfighter is one of those movies that I do enjoy, but I didn't see it in the theater as a kid, so I don't have that, like, I love it, but I don't have that, like, childhood connection.
He saves Earth.
Okay.
Comes back, picks up his girlfriend. They go off into the stars. Is like, brother, can you take me with you?
That.
He's like, yeah, whatever. So they take off, and the last scene is the brother playing the Starfighter game, trying to beat it.
That would be good. That would be good. That's you know what I think I'll watch that tonight because
it's a great one.
Yeah, no, I do like it. Like that's the trailer park and the I do like it. It's just like like when you were a kid, like you saw
you
something.
had to see that as a kid.
Yeah, you had to see that as a kid.
If you watch it like older,
you're gonna be like that's cheeseball alien shit.
Yeah.
This is actually more of a third one for me, but they got to do a sequel to Tron Legacy. To Tron, like what is not a sequel? Is that a sequel?
One of mine is a trequel or whatever, a third part.
Yeah, I need another Tron Legacy, and that's another one where it's like I know that there's a lot of people out there that aren't on the same page with you and I because we both I like Tron Legacy.
Me too. I loved it. I might like it more than the first one.
I think I might too.
In different ways, I like it more for sure. But I thought that was a ridiculously fun movie.
Yeah, it was totally fun. Like I'm not saying it didn't have its issues, but I can suspend all of them because I had a good time.
I enjoyed the shit out of that movie.
Absolutely. Yep. So that was one of
my trequel would be Conan 3.
Okay.
Like of all the shit that they hinted
Conan the King.
Yeah, Conan the King. At the end of the movie, it's like, so he ruled from a troubled brow, but that's a story for another time.
Yeah. I think Conan the Destroyer was a bad.
Me too.
Was a bad choice. Like
so did Arnold.
Yeah. Because I mean, if you watch Conan the Barbarian, like from beginning to end, that was like a solid, strong film.
Yeah.
And it was rated R, and it was like it didn't insult its source material, in my opinion. No. I think it was great.
Everybody loved it. I mean, it was brutal. I mean, it was violent. It was fun. It had everything you needed in a barbarian movie. Yeah. You know? And the second one went too soft.
Too soft.
It wasn't violent. Yeah. It was... I liked the magic a little bit, but it needed both. It needed both.
No, I agree. It was definitely... I'm going to say it dumbed it down. It was like, look, we have an opportunity to make money here. We're going to make it a PG movie. We're going to take out the elements. It did. And there's been a lot of talk about them doing a Conan the King and using Arnold Schwarzenegger. Is he too old for it?
Hell no, I'd take it. I would take that in a second.
I would too.
But they'd have to make it differently now than they would in like the 90s or the 80s.
Absolutely.
I mean, make him like the king. So it's like there's other dudes fighting.
Yeah.
He's like a
He's got to be an old grumpy king like a bored king, and then he has to be forced into
or he never became king, and because of that. The Everett mayhem ran through his land, and he had to get people together and retake the land.
Yeah,
and he becomes king and die. I mean, there's so many.
I agree.
That's a story to be told.
Absolutely.
Awesome.
I mean, and I watched. You remember they rebooted that?
Yeah, it was terrible.
I thought it was pretty terrible, and that's also a movie that I would be open to them rebooting it even again.
Yeah,
because Conan. Yeah, I mean, I was a big fan of particularly the Dark Horse Conan the comic. I can't remember. It came out like let's say 5 to 10 years ago, but it was really good. I'm a fan of that fantasy barbarian stuff. This one is the easy one, Dread, man. No one went and saw that movie, and that's such an underappreciated movie. Yeah. And we spent a lot of time talking about good comic book movies. Dread obviously wasn't Marvel or DC, so it wasn't on our last episode. But man, what a good movie!
And everybody loves that movie. Nobody dislikes it. Right. Everybody involved in it even liked it. Like Carl Urban loved it, and
Carl Urban was so good. Man.
He was awesome. I mean, and you got to give him props. For being in a movie, he's a big name and didn't show his face.
Yeah.
I gave him so much.
That's what Stallone should have done.
He wouldn't do it, though. Yeah, he was Stallone and wouldn't do it. Right. And it would have made the old movie acceptable, I think. If he just wouldn't have played it as sly, he looked the part, I think.
Carl Urban is one of those actors that I highly respect. Yep. And I think he makes good decisions. He's willing to play a small role in a big world. Yep. And he's a fantastic actor.
He's invisible. I mean, I forget, he's Éomer in the Lord of the Rings movies, and then the bad guy in
McCoy. I mean,
the
McCoy,
bad guy.
I'm sorry, the bad guy.
The bad guy in the Jason Bourne movies.
Doesn't
speak a word.
Yeah,
he's all over the road, man. He's awesome.
He definitely is a character actor, and I respect that. What else? What else you got?
What else have I got? Yeah. Man, I should have.
You want me to throw one out?
Yeah, you throw it out.
I think this is an easy one. I don't think you like District 9. I think that lends itself to. I think it was instead of doing that movie he did. I didn't really like either of his follow-ups. What was the one with the gangster robot cabbie.
I didn't see it.
But you know what I'm talking. What was it called?
Hippie, shitty.
It wasn't a
Chappie. Yeah.
It was. I understand what he was trying to do. It just didn't hit those buttons for me. And same thing with Elysium.
I thought Elysium was okay.
I thought it was okay.
It wasn't my favorite, but it was okay.
I agree. It's one of those movies that when it's on TV, I'll pop it on and I'll watch it. Like I got no problem. But District 9 really lent itself to District 10.
And there was so much begs for a sequel.
Absolutely. Absolutely. It needed it. But it was set up for that. Also, this is, I don't know if you're going to agree with me on this one, but I think a sequel to The Professional would have been interesting. With Natalie Portman taking over the role? No.
Look, I see where you're coming from. I see where you're coming from. No, I couldn't handle
You couldn't?
I think it'd be sacrilege. Now,
you do.
But you know what? I'm not saying I disrespect your idea.
Okay.
Or anything like that. I can't see it.
You just don't want to see it?
I don't want to see it.
Is it because you're sad that Leon wouldn't be involved, that Luc Besson isn't involved? Or is it you don't have an interest in seeing her story?
I think the story's over. I think he got her out of that life.
Yeah, but at the end, wasn't she like a straight up hitman? Like, isn't there a story to tell there?
Maybe.
But I get what you're saying. Like, I'm not saying I'm dying for it, because I think The Professional is actually my favorite action movie. Right.
Why not? Yeah, that movie's sweet.
And I know this is probably sacrilege, but I prefer the Professional versus Leon per The Professional.
I've never seen the US one.
Oh, I have it. You want to borrow it?
Yeah, I do want to see the difference.
It's not like I think it's just because I've seen it more, and that's the one that I kind of went with. But
they take out the romance of it, right?
Yeah, I don't know if it's really romance.
It's not romance, but they hint that like. They were falling in love, and that's
definitely. There was definitely a stronger bond.
Yeah.
And they definitely showed more of a training ritual. But I love that movie, and I'm not sad that there's not a sequel. But I do think that there's a story there. I think if who's that director?
Luc Besson.
Luc Besson, right? I said. I think if him and Natalie Portman came together with a good script, I think that there could be a good film there. But
I would almost prefer like a backdoor sequel. What do they call it? Matilda?
Matilda, yeah. Yeah, exactly. Like,
sweet. Now you're selling me.
Right. But that's what it would be. It wouldn't be called Leon the Professional. It would be, you could just call it Matilda. And if you did it right, oh man, it could be so good.
It would have to be a brutal movie.
It would have to be a terribly brutal movie.
That'd be sort of good,
it
actually.
Would be,
why not?
Right. All right,
I'll take that. Yeah, I'm sold. That could be good.
I sold you.
But speaking of Luc Besson, Fifth Element.
I was just going to say that.
Fifth Element would be...
I'd
love to see it.
I think the movie itself stands alone.
Yeah.
But I loved the Fifth Element as far as the universe, and I would absolutely be open to seeing more.
Just don't know how much you can flesh out that universe.
Yeah.
And like it because it's so cheesy and corny. Yeah. It's awesome. But if you're actually living in it, for a sequel, I wonder if it would be too much.
I think you might be right.
But yeah, I'd still love that.
I would too.
I'd love it.
I think the Fifth Element came out in the 90s, and it was I think it was the most refreshing movie that came out in that decade as far as sci-fi goes.
Yeah, it was the first hard sci-fi movie, and you like straight up. Hundreds of years in the future, space cars, spaceships.
Create a new world. I agree. I agree. So I love the Fifth Element. It was a lot of fun, and I always wanted action figures for it, and they just never made them. It just seemed like it lent itself to action figures. It wasn't rated R, was it?
I don't think so. I think it was PG-13.
Yeah. But
that was a wonderful movie.
Yeah, I agree. I'm hoping Luc Besson, he's doing Valerian. I hope he sort of creates that sort of world with that movie. That's one of the reasons why I'm so good. Me too.
It looks good. It looks interesting.
It does look good, and I did read the trade paperbacks, and there's certainly something there. So I hope you're right. Here's one I'm on the. I want to say this, but I don't want to spoil anything. But I wanted an Unbreakable sequel, but I guess we can't really talk about this. I still did not see the movie. Blank. But I think it's pretty out of the bag now.
Yeah, it's out of the bag.
Yeah, but okay, so I can skip over that one. What else did you have?
Man, I should have.
Yeah,
I think we're about there. I'm thinking. You got anything else?
Yeah, you got a few more.
Yeah, keep going, man.
Tell me. I don't know if I need this, but how about Stargate? Do we need another one?
Well, they did a whole show, and it was like huge.
Right.
But
that's true.
Did
you watch that show?
I'd watch a season.
Okay.
I mean, I've probably seen total a season, but it went 7 seasons. I mean, it went forever. Then Stargate Atlantis.
People love that show.
Yeah, people are into it.
The production for me was too soft. I don't know. Like I couldn't. I tried to watch it.
I wasn't into it.
Yeah, I wasn't into it either. It was, you know what, Stargate, I couldn't get into, and people loved it. Babylon 5 is another one that people loved. I couldn't get into.
I mean, Babylon 5 is revered as one of the finest
people love
sci-fi shows.
Right.
Like, snooty tooty.
Like Farscape is another one where it's like I tried because I loved all the Jim Henson aspect.
Can't do it.
Yeah, and,
it was too not even dark, just too weird. Like old school Doctor Who. I couldn't.
I'm with you.
Like, just I don't know what it is, but I just didn't get it.
Yeah,
you know.
I would group Battlestar Galactica in that, but it's not because it wasn't good. It's just because I didn't.
Battlestar Galactica sequel.
Yeah,
that's one
that would be awesome.
See, you know,
I'll be honest with you. I think Battlestar Galactica, the original, I think it would lend itself to. I hate to say this, but a reboot, better. Do you, or would you rather have a sequel? I mean, do you think there's too much time where a sequel would really throw people off? I mean, they did it with Tron, but for some reason that just seemed to work better.
I think they would have to reboot it just because of whole Ron Moore.
Yeah,
the sci-fi series, which was awesome
right.
too. I mean, depending on who you talk to, it's better.
Yeah.
I think it would probably be a reboot.
Yeah, Bryan Singer was talking about that.
Yeah, and if they rebooted it though, I would want it rebooted like the 70s style.
Yes.
Like more like the laser blasters.
Right. Like a Star Wars space opera. I'm with you.
Storyline. Like the new one was just hardcore. It was awesome.
It was awesome. Yeah.
But it was just
definitely.
Don't watch that one with your kids.
Definitely. Man, rebooting like franchises we could go in on too. I won't get too far, but man, do I want a new like I'm not really into reboots. But man, I would love to see a Logan's Run.
Didn't they do that?
No. Bryan Singer again was talking about that. But Logan's Run is a movie that, like, I love that movie. I love the concept of it, but it is incredibly dated. But I love it, and I'm not a big fan of reboots, because it's like there's got to be new stories to tell. Yeah. Everything's got to be rebooted, but that one seems like it's time for that.
Yeah, because I mean that's a pretty revered movie. I mean the story of it is pretty universal.
Yeah,
I mean,
absolutely.
that could use a reboot. It was good though. I mean,
still
a good movie.
I still watch it. Well, I mean the same thing could be said about like Black Hole. Like I love Black Hole.
Sequel, reboot, both. Either anything that they do tied into that story, I'll take.
Me too. For some reason, I'm rather obsessed with that movie. Like,
me too.
That's one of those movies too. I didn't see it in the theater as a kid. You know when I saw it the first time? I saw it for the first time at your house. We were like 17 years old, 16 years old, and you got that. What car was that you got?
The Cavalier, the convertible Cavalier. Man, that thing was awesome.
That thing was awesome. It was like turquoise.
Yep.
Cavalier. I wish send me a picture of that. And it was the first time I'd ever watched Black Hole. I was about 16 or 17, and then your mom says, "Hey Brian, come on outside." And you had this brand new. It wasn't brand new.
No, it was new to me, but
it was a pretty sweet car to have.
For being in high school, is awesome.
Yeah, it was. It was pretty sweet. But I'd be open-minded to Black Hole.
If they redo it though, it needs to be a reboot and sequel, and prequel.
How so? How would you?
Because I want to see how the ship got out there, and I want to see more of what happens after. Like that ending to that movie is like. What? Even when you watch it, like, what the fuck did I?
That's what I love about it.
I love it too.
It's like 2000. There's like 20 minutes of it that like reminds me of like 2001. It just trips out like that. And this is not a new statement, but like that is not a Disney-esque movie.
No.
Like even Vincent. Like I understand that he was a cute little robot, but he was actually a really interesting character. Like I think so.
Yeah. I mean, when old Bob died, I mean, it was like, okay, it's just
spoiler.
Old Bob. But it was sort of sad. I mean, if you watch it in the right time, you'll tear up a little bit.
Oh, definitely.
A little bit, and like...
Definitely. No, it's I think it's, I don't know.
We had everything going for it, except...
It was
the
marketing. Yeah, the marketing. It was marketed towards, like, the Star Wars... viewer as opposed to like the 2001 silent running type.
But thank God for that, because that gives us movies that are that caliber. But I mean, if the movie would have been marketed a different way, it would have been a different movie.
Yeah, no, I think you're right.
To see a movie that's that huge.
I agree.
Like the sets and all that, and like really sort of floppy as far as like how well it did. You know that you really got what the filmmakers were trying to make, you know? And it's like, it's just... Yeah, that movie's a gem.
It is a gem.
It's a gem.
That's a good word for it. Going back to do you have any other movies that like you really wanted to see a sequel of? I could go into...
I could go on for hours, probably.
The only thing else I had like on the list that I wrote was... And I don't know if this is a movie that needs a sequel or I want it just because I want to go back in that universe, but we don't agree with this, but The Dark Crystal. Like, I know that they were working on The Power of the Dark Crystal, and who's the guy who did... I can't pronounce his name.
Isn't it coming out?
No, actually, I can't pronounce his name. I feel so rude. But the guy who did the Clone Wars cartoon, Jendowski, you know?
Oh, God, yeah.
I can't remember his name. I'll put it in here. But he did Samurai Jack too, and I think he's pretty brilliant. He was working on the Power of the Dark Crystal movie years ago, and it basically fell through. And they're doing a comic book series right now. And I read the first issue, and that doesn't really give you a whole lot. It's 22 pages. But I don't know that I need to get another movie because I think it wrapped itself up. But I think if they would have put one out, I would certainly be there opening night.
Dune.
Dune. But Dune, I didn't read the books. Dune is getting remade by, what's his name? Dennis Villeneuve. And that's a perfect fit. Yeah. I think so.
So is he just... Wow, he's going to be busy for a while.
He's doing Blade Runner,
Dune.
What
else? Something else, right?
Blade Runner, Dune. I think that's it, but like I think he's got like a...
Is Dune going to be a trilogy or like...
I think it needs to be,
It needs to be, because I mean, like as much as I love the original movie...
And I do love the original movie.
It would have been better as like if they would have taken some more time.
I agree. Like even if you didn't do a trilogy and you fleshed out in two,
yeah,
that would be good. I do agree because I loved Dune, and I did not read the books, so go ahead with the shit talking. But I loved the movie, and I loved it as a kid. But I didn't understand.
I didn't like it. Really?
I did.
No, I didn't like it till later.
I thought it was so weird, and that's why I liked it. But until I became an adult, I really didn't understand what the hell they were talking about. But I love Dune. Yeah, my final thoughts are like, I don't think every good movie needs a sequel, but I think the ones that we mentioned do. Yeah. And that's all I got. About you? That's it, huh?
That's it.
All right. Well, please check us out on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter. Send us something through our P.O. box because we don't have an email address. We're old school. So until next time,
nerd out!
Got our that is intense.
Yeah, but I love it. I'm hooked.
Yeah,
man. They should make it illegal. I drink I need one a day. Yeah, at least. Yeah.
Only one. Do you drink only one?
Only one.
Only one. So you have discipline.
After my 2 cups of coffee.
Yeah. No kidding.
Yeah.
The energy drinks give me heartburn. Like I can't
Most of them. This treats me well. It's the only one I can drink. Okay. Thank you, Rachel.
Yeah.
She got me started on that.
Oh, Rachel. Oh, we'll talk about that later. I haven't talked to her about her a long time.